on, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the Systems Lab Live execution in real time. Listen, for some reason, I did the countdown, but the live button wasn't live in. Okay, but I love it anyway. I've just been talking to the Instagram fam for the past few minutes and realized ain't no live stream going on. So we are officially live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and on Instagram. Instagram only has the face-to-face version of me, but YouTube and LinkedIn, y'all got the visuals. Y'all got the visuals, all right? And so I love this because execution in real time is really focusing on the day-to-day work. And so those of you who are tuning into this live stream for the very first time, please note we've been doing live streams here myself since July of 2020. Yes, July of 2020. We've been doing it. We transitioned over to YouTube October 2021, and we've been rocking ever since. Rocking ever since. And so Systems Lab Live is the only live stream that is solely for project managers and project leaders. And I have a post that I did, I think, last week on the Insta, where I specifically talk about how when I say about project leaders and project managers, I'm not solely talking about like folks in the tech space or fintech. I'm talking about wink, wink, content creators, podcast producers, online business managers, system strategists. Okay. We're really breaking the mold, and we're like, we say the project name, we say the titles, but this is what I mean. So this live stream is dedicated to leading teams, managing projects, and developing processes. It's a good time. And we have different monthly themes, and this month is all focused on how you get the work done every day. It's the execution piece of it. And we have got a lot. This is not your typical live stream, as many of you know. So I'm going to share my screen because we're going to get to it, because we do have a lot to cover. Shout out to the folks that are coming on the Insta. All right. So again, welcome to the Systems Lab Live. Okay. What's on the agenda for tonight? It hardly really ever moves, but we're going to have a little bit of show and tell. So we're going to go through the Black Tech Effect Report. We are officially on entrepreneur number 50. So we do 5 per week. This will take us all the way through August, but we've been going through the Black Tech Effect Report. Definitely, if you want to go and download the report, basically the Black Tech Effect Report is a report that was produced by The Plug, by Sherelle Dorsey, and the Omni DR network. And so they have, go ahead and download it and read all about it. But basically they highlighted 100 Black tech startups. Me being on this journey of expanding my interest into agile and product management, it's just been such a treat to unpack this whole world. And so I was like, everybody needs to know about this report. So that's why we're doing it. Process and flow, we're going to be speaking specifically to changing direction. How do you handle scope creep? This is what scope creep is, the gift that keeps on giving. I like to talk about it. I think it's important. I think that we just need to get an understanding about not only what it is, but like tips on how you can prevent it. And what happens when you get that phone call? You have an external or internal environmental factor. And so in my environmental factors. And so we're going to examine all of that through the lens of AI and the recent AI legislation and some of the hearings, and also social media policy. So we know that Montana, they sat up there and banned TikTok. And then TikTok came back today and said, I bet you won't. We gonna sue you. It's unconstitutional. So we got a lot to talk about, because when you're working on projects, these types of things happen. A policy, a provision, a change in management, a direction, all the things in between. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to play around in ClickUp 3.0. Next week, we will not be in 3.0 because there's a couple of platforms that I want to test out and talk to you all about. Berrycast is one, and I think it's a new kid on the block, similar to Loom. I got a free account, so shout out to the people of Berrycast. We're gonna go through it, and it should be good. This should be fantastic. Again, why we're here, why this live stream? For project leaders, okay, we focus on these three areas: productivity, operations, and project management. We're bridging the gap between people, technology, and processes. This particular also live stream setup is powered by Miro. A couple of things I want you to note is to text hashtag project manager to 626-722-5444. This is where we're really going to start to get just more strategic in the way in which we're going to be building offline. And there's going to be more announced on that next week. And then I want to shout out BeastCon, this East Coast chapter by the National Urban League Young Professionals. All the East Coast chapters came together at VCU in the city of Richmond to talk about all things pertaining to professional development, leadership development, civic engagement, how we can be trailblazers within our community, relationship management, fundraising, how to be an empathetic leader. And my, was that an exciting time. I wrote all about that on LinkedIn. I also have a reel about that as well. It's a fantastic time. I'm 7 years in to the Urban League, second chapter, Nova, and then Thursday Network, Greater Washington Urban League. But it was great. I got to see I love always seeing people from other chapters. Shout out to Next Philadelphia University. Oh, not university, excuse me. The Richmond YPs, the Hampton Roads YPs. Whom else? We got Union County. We got the Jersey chapters. Wilmington was definitely in the building. Who else was in the building? New York was in the building. So good, so good. We also saw one of my favorite ELT peeps, Jason Mitchell, who's down in Charlotte, and so he's a part of the Charlotte chapter as well. Let's see. I also met one of the secretaries, Jasmine Kent, who's out in the LA chapter. Shout out to the LA chapter with Comfort as president. They got some really great programming out there. And so BeastCon, looking forward to 2024. Let's do it. Okay, where shall we go now? Because we got to do it, folks. Show and tell with Ask Ash. We will highlight this in making this executive decision. We will highlight this, this meaning environmental factors or external and internal factors, in the next section. We're going to go straight into the Black Tech Effect report. I am going to do something really quick. Let me bring up Reader. Y'all know about Readwise? They got a new product over the past couple of months called Readwise or Reader, or I think it's called Reader. Basically, what's been going on is they have essentially, you can essentially like highlight anything on the internet. And I think that's helpful because I'll be reading things and I'll just want to highlight stuff. I'm big on where do we go to reference information? And quite frankly, one of the things that in business, okay, I think we're back in business, folks. Okay. One of the things that it's one of my, I don't know if you wouldn't say hobby, but it's like one of my sticking points. Okay. It's one of my sticking points. I'm actually putting a cord back, so don't mind me. Um, it's one of my sticking points, which is how do we catalog, categorize, organize, and disseminate information? And friends, knowledge management has been such a key learning vehicle for me. So when we do the builder segment, if I want to preview something I'm going to work on, we're going to get into some of the things that I am looking to do. And my friends, it's quite the journey. So one of the things that I'm doing as well, we're venturing on, is my pod content. But we're a little bit off track, people, because we got to get to the Black Tech Effect report. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be switching to, it's called Kira. Women's health just got a whole lot more connected. Easy access, quality telemedicine 24/7 from anywhere, or in-person healthcare at our flagship. Choose from a wide range of doctors, OBGYNs, and therapists. Imagine a world where your care is inclusive, personalized, and culture centered. So this was founded by, in 2018, Crystal Adesanya from Los Angeles. It's a healthcare technology company focused on addressing the needs of young women of color by empowering them to be more proactive regarding their health in their early formative years. Kira's mission is to change the way women receive, and experience healthcare. My goodness. Healthcare coaching, primary care, pregnancy, gynecology. Gynecology. Okay, I don't know. You've seen the word before, but ultrasounds and mental health. Look, they're now accepting new patients at our Melrose location. How does this all work, though? Start booking virtual visits with Kira providers. Oh, look at everybody. Pediatrician, obstetrician, and gynecologist, psychotherapy, obstetrician, psychiatric nurse practitioner. Wow. What states want to become a Kira provider? So people who are service providers they even have a pod and a blog. What are their locations? Where are they located? Let's see. LA. We're expanding early. That's a flagship. So then Melrose, join Kira for $150 a year. So, okay, I can get down with that. I can get down with that for sure. The team. This would be cool to get some more flagship in other locations, but I can imagine that is not an impossible undertaking, but it takes time. They probably are already thinking about how do we scale. So this is a team, folks. Crystal, this is her, the founder. Judy Kim, COO. Margaret, Derry, Candace, Katya, I think, and Lorraine. This is pretty. I'm pretty much loving this. This is like very exciting. Okay, next up is Launchpad. Helps you turn workforce investments into opportunities. Be ready for the future of work with the only true software as a service, platform for workforce development. Oh, so it's like ignite your initiative with Launchpad. So what is this about? Let's go with who we are. Launchpad provides industry-specific applications for public sector and nonprofit organizations, helping them improve the way they deliver workforce development, human and social services to the community. Oh, I like that. Their roots are in employment and economic development. So I'm going to tell you right now, right here, the best part about the Black Tech Effect Report is the fact that there's so many social impact organizations. So sign me up. This is my jam. This is my jam. I'm just like astounded by this. This was founded by Abraham Jan Cans, 2012, Irvine, California, is a management consulting and staffing platform which connects public sectors and nonprofit organizations using cloud and artificial intelligence. Since its inception, the software has serviced over 150 organizations across 15 states to modernize their workforce development system. But I just cannot. These are the type, I'm going to tell you right now, these are the type of things that just take me out in a positive way. Economic development, human services, supportive. This is like what we need. Meal delivery. My goodness. Youth employment and human services. I honestly just can't even. All right. Lease Query. Lease Query. Founded in 2011. This is a legacy one by George Azzi. Is a fintech company aiming to empower its clients through user-friendly and trustworthy financial accounting solutions. This is in Atlanta, Georgia. I've never heard of Lease Query, but this is wonderful. They do accounting, companies, CPAs, and governments. Okay. So it's an accounting solution. Lands End, Community Bank. We're rated by number one by accountants. I hear that. This is great. This is really good. Who are the partners? Let's see. Oh, okay. Partners submit a lead. Okay, I see. I see. Oh, they work with Deloitte. I like it. I like this a lot. This is super positive. Positive. It's just a good thing. This is just a really good thing. Let's see. Who's next? Oh, this is exciting. Localier. Travel is what we do. Local is why we do it. Founded by Josh Spearman in Austin, Texas. It helps you find where to eat, drink, and play in over 200 cities around the world, according to their global community of locals. Subscribers unlock recommendations and personalized travel guides for destinations from local insiders. Founder Josh Spearman is one of the only Black tech founders to raise more than $5 million in a startup funding without Silicon Valley. Wow, keeping the local lore, I think it's local lore platform locally driven and investment. How some of this stuff is like unreal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unreal. Featured guides. Look at this, remote work. And then they tell you, once you subscribe, they tell you all the things. And then they just tell you where to go. You can do it in Spain or Austin, Texas, or Brooklyn in the house, Mexico City, Miami. London has a Department of Coffee and Social Affairs. Can you imagine? I want to go there. I don't even drink coffee anymore. The Library Cafe in Australia. The Frothy Monkey in Nashville. My gosh. I just like cannot even deal. Baked and Wired. No, I haven't. Could you see? Look at this, guys. I just cannot deal. Okay, subscribe. What happens when you subscribe? Only $100 a year? I love it. This is it, folks. This is exciting. Let's see. We have Lumia. Yeah. We have Lumia is next. Let me switch over to Lumia. Making your impossible product possible with soft, flexible electronics, which I don't know exactly what that means, but it was founded in 2005, woman owned by Madison Maxey in New York, wearable tech. It's an innovative custom manufacturer of flexible and soft circuits that can be attached to a surface material through sewing, heating, bonding, or pressure-based adhesives. And so this is the good stuff here, people. So Lumia, what they're doing is, you hear about the big technology, but they're all about award-winning material covered by 6 patents, and they do wearable technology. That's what I thought. Heating systems, all the things that go on. Stretchable, flexible, drapable. Okay. Oh, so they even do wearable, like, sleeves and shirts and stuff. This is pretty brilliant. I've just never seen nothing like this. This is pretty cool. I like it. Did we go over it? Is this the 5th one? No, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, we've done 55 of these. We got about come on, math. Help us today. I think it's 40. I think it's 45. Okay, 45. We got 45 more spotlights for the Black Tech Effect Report. This will take us all the way to August. Okay, so I'm loving it. I'm loving that. All right, so what do we want to do next, y'all? Here's what we're about to do. We're gonna get into, it's 8:29, so we're like right on time, folks. So we're going to get into the process and flow segment. What we really want to do here is set the stage. Again, this month is all about execution in real time. Okay, so all of these live streams have built upon different themes that really rest on what are you doing on the day-to-day when you're getting the work done. Okay, so we talked about schedule management. We've talked about and we've talked about how to manage the schedule. We've talked about all these different types of things, right? And so one of the things I think is really important that we talk about too is we want to revisit scope creep. We want to revisit the fact, and I'll take it a step back, because the scope is really what you're doing and then what you're not doing. Simply put, what you're doing and what you're not doing. Okay. And so as you're thinking about your current project that you're working on, you probably already have in your mind, or maybe it's written down someplace, and you already have it already documented. Here's what we're doing to deliver X, Y, and Z. And so we're talking about, processes, when we talk about delivery, we're talking about products, we're talking about services. Okay. And so this is really important that, we lean into the fact that sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. We get excited and said, let's just add this element, right? And I think it's important to say, because while I always say that scope creep can really like rear its ugly head, it's almost like a what do you call it? A Rottweiler chasing you down the street. I'm always having these like visual things about scope creep, but I really want us to take a step back and realize that when we're working with clients, right? Because I'm speaking, to the PMs that are really navigating these types of things. And so what I'm really centered on is really figuring out, is it feasible to actually take an idea and add to what is already being produced? Okay. I think it always should be on the table. I really do. I really feel that everything should be on the table. Okay. So if somebody comes up to you, a team member, your CEO, and they're like, you know what? I think we should do X. Here's what you really should be thinking about. You want to think about three primary things. You want to talk about the time. How much time is this going to take? You see, how much time? How much time? Is it going to affect the actual deadline? Is there going to be an impact on the other tasks that are already on schedule? These are the things that I think we got to reconcile. So do me a favor, those of you that are taking some notes right now, write these three elements down when you're vetting, because probably tomorrow you probably need to see and follow up with some folks. Okay. So time, because you don't want to say right away, like, no, you just want to be able to hear what the perspective is. Because sometimes, and I had a post on this before, where scope creep or adding things into the scope only works if there are added benefits. And so it depends on the culture, the request, money. Okay. And that's the second one, to really see if can we make it make sense? Can we really make it make sense? So let's think about that. The money factor. Okay. Oftentimes we do want to add things, we do want to do things, but then we don't have the dinero. We don't have the money. We don't have that mean green. Okay. There's a whole series on that in February. We talked all about budgeting and money. It's not something that people want to necessarily talk about, right? You know, we get sensitive talking about the monies on all different fronts. But if you're an event planner who's really a PM just in events, okay, but with that specialized skill set in the planning of events, you probably have ran into this where you got a client that says, hey, I think we should add this to the program. Oh, I think we should add this to, like adding one more thing to maybe like the venue or something like that. That's all well and good, right? But this is about the vetting of the change to the scope, right? It's all about vetting. So let's say you want to add a podcasting booth. I love to see it because I think this is the vibe that many people are doing. So you just want to ask yourself the question, like, what do we need? Come on, resources. What do we need? How much will it cost? When do we need to order supplies? How does this fit into the ecosystem, the entire experience of what you're building? Okay. So if it is like a podcasting booth, is this going to be something where it's going to be like a time type of thing? Or is it something that people can just sort of walk up and do because they don't have to be in the program? You got to think about all those factors. Who's with me? Who's with me on that, right? Love to hear in the chat what you all are thinking about, experiencing when it comes to the time, money, and resources. This little line right here that says you have to weigh the risk. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Okay. Next week, we're going to talk about risky business. It'll be exciting. Love talking about a good risk discussion, which needs to be highlighted more. But we're talking about those negative or positive aspects that come into play that can actually derail or positively impact the direction of the project. Okay. So if you add something on, hello clients that want to just add things on. All right. Is it going to burn down the project or not? And it's just a simple conversation. I know the PMs are like, is it simple? It has to be simple, right? Because it's your job to make sure that people are seeing the full picture. You understand? Sounds good. Good. You want to make sure of that. You want to make sure of that. All right. Make sure you put your questions in the comments. Yeah. And let's get rocking to the next Slide. Okay. Changing directions. Environmental factors. Oh, I gotta get my little Notion thing up. Let me get I have a couple of notes I want to ensure that I have. We want to make sure, we want to make sure, we want to make sure, or we want to make sure. 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 Is it here? Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Okay. Environmental well, I keep on saying environmental. I guess you can say the internal environment or the external environment, but or you know what I'm trying to say. External and internal factors. So what do we mean by this? This is key. This is key, everybody. So here's what I want to bring up. When we talk about external factors for project management, we're talking about things like legislation and policy. We're talking about, and I just want to highlight just a few, but these are the things that are outside, they exist outside of the organization. COVID-19, big external factor. In fact, it was an environmental factor, right? So these are, it's like the things you just like can't control, really. And so, excuse me, these are beyond the organization. They're beyond your control. So we're talking about technology, new emerging technologies. Okay. AI, right? Social media companies, Montana, banning TikTok, policy, political and social conditions, your customers, competition, external. When we talk about internal, we're talking about the people. We're talking about our CEOs, our leaders. We're talking about cash and funding, staffing, resources, organizational culture. Trends in society and culture are really on that external factor piece. But let's sort of break a few things down, because I think this is really important when we talk about, the policy and the legislation piece. More specifically, when we talk about the policy and legislation, these are the things that can really deter your project. Okay? You have to be willing to think critically and strategically about how to pivot. For those of you that are in the creators economy, this is how this applies to you all. Okay? Perfect. I'm telling you, this is all the way live. Okay? The OpenAI chief, Sam Altman, I believe that's his name, testified last week in front of Congress about artificial intelligence risks. Okay. There are no sweeping legislations right now, but things are heating up. Why is this important for those that are in the creators economy, especially? Now, other industries, I know other industries are using it. I got content marketers, digital marketers, as well. Those that are in technology that have been heavily into the AI space as well. And that's an interesting little connection. How do the folks that have been in the AI space before this spike, I wonder how they're feeling about everything. It's a good question to ask. Okay, bringing it back to center. Here's what we want to really put our minds in our hands on. So I'm going to connect this really for those that are in the creators economy, the podcasters, those that are in the business of creating content. Because it is my belief, and I've been saying this for a while, but I like to say it again. There's something to be said about watching out for not only the cultural trends or the technology trends, but also your voice inside of this policy space. Yes. And by having Sam Altman come and testify, I don't even know why we don't even have our favorite, or what's deemed the favorite of the influencers, on these particular, speaking to elected officials about the this technology. I've been using it for years, or maybe in the past few months. But there's a perspective, I bet you, that needs to be added to the conversation. So, who else testified was Christina Montgomery, an NYU professor and professor, IBM Chief Privacy and Trust Officer Christina Montgomery, and NYU Professor Emeritus Gary Marcus, one of the AI experts who called on OpenAI and other tech firms to pause their AI model development to consider the risks. This month, Altman plans to embark on a worldwide tour to national capitals and major cities across 6 continents to talk about AI with policymakers and the public. So this is similar to what I was just saying. Man, Sam says he's just going to go and saddle up the horse and go on out to the community. And we're going to talk about AI openly, talk about all the risks. We're talking about the data. We're talking about the privacy. We're talking about the money. We're talking about all these things. And so hopefully there's going to be a bridging of the gap between our content creators, like our podcasters, especially those that are in podcast companies that are creating AI tools. Y'all, we need to be in the mix. Need to be in the mix, monitoring the legislation. I said this to Walter Gaynor II. We said this last year. We just touched on it briefly, where the creators and the creators economy being able to intersect the worlds of the creators economy and AI, and then the operational piece, the technology piece. How there needs to be some sort of, what do you call, advisory committee of sorts, bouncing off of ideas, talking through these things, breaking things down. What does it really mean to regulate this which is AI? How does that happen fairly? Where's the equity piece in this conversation? Lots of things, right? The funding aspect of it. So another thing we want to highlight too, we got Montana banning TikTok. Okay. I'm going to bet you right here, right now, that Montana, becoming the first state in the U.S. to completely ban TikTok on Wednesday. Let's see. There's going to be a legal ground to challenge it, which I believe it already is. Let's see. Montana. I'm just Googling this right quick because I want to say that TikTok already put out a statement. They're suing. So they're suing to reverse the ban. Okay? And so many of you all are probably thinking, you know what? We just here for the content. We are just here for, to build and to grow. And I think that ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't no qualms, ain't no beef with what you're saying. But as some of these conversations, these hearings, these particular lawsuits start to bubble up even more, I do believe in the business of content. This is a perfect introduction of being able to, and I'll also put some perspective for the people who are in the policy game, those that are in these other companies and social media platforms for you to pull the people in so you can have the holistic conversation. But in the business of content and creating, if your state bans use of Instagram or any of these platforms, what will you do? Now, many people have said that's why you build offline. But, because most of the time when we think about like Insta being down, we only think about it from like a perspective of like an hour or a day at most. Or back in the pandemic days, I think we had maybe like 2 days, maybe 2, 3 max, right? Folks was just out of sorts. But it begs the question. Let's say it just was like, we're just not doing it. Like, what if it was just like indefinitely? What if it was like we banned it for a year? You know what I'm saying? So, these are why, you have to monitor the legislation, see how you can get involved, to be civically engaged, right? Is something that's needed to lean into people that, again, and this is why the intersection of worlds is so important. For me as a policy person, this would be just a lovely dream come true, partnering with a content creator, of what is it that we can do to, whether it could be like a campaign, it could be like a look, it could be like a plan, it could be like a, a 1 to 2 pagers of ideas that could be submitted on behalf of group of content creators to different companies and such. It's always something to consider. So when we're talking about changing directions, the types of directions that we're speaking of in particular, we're talking about these external factors, these internal factors, these aspects that can truly just change the trajectory of the project, that can put it on standstill, or it could get shut down. Now, even on a non-social media AI policy hearing type of thing, going back to those that are planning these events in person or virtually, there's various different types of even building type of policies and places that you're going to rent and those types of things. So if there's a change in policy, if you've always gone to one particular venue for the past couple of years, or if you've heard about, one piece of change from one company to another, you may want to check to see if there's a pattern in that. And so that just helps you as the event planner. It helps you to be able to stay ahead of the game so that you're not booking an event that would impede, or excuse me, that you would book a actual physical location that would impede the actual delivery of your virtual event. So that's how we can get it on that high level, social media, AI, all of those types of things where, for the business of content and also for the technology folks as well, bring it down to another type of case study where you do need to know what are some of the policies of the building. And by not knowing this information, if you have an event within a week or a few days and you're just finding out about it, you're going to run into some things where you may have to reschedule, or you may have to go and find a new venue. So who has any questions? Make sure you put those in the chat, some follow-up. Make sure you also text hashtag project manager to 626-722-5444 for any follow-up questions that you may have. Happy to answer them. So if we move on to our next aspect. We're going to go to the builder segment. We're going to do a little bit of a preview. Well, I guess we're just going to, it's really demo time. Do a little demo time, folks. I think this is like very important that we go into, well, I think we should explore the home. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, this is like blank. Okay. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I do not really use the My Work features. I really don't. I don't use the My Work features. But for those that do, they got a cool thing to have going on. You can have the agenda for tasks and reminders. Mentions are here. Calendar is right here as well. Comments right here. All the comments you can put here. You can resolve. You can assign a comment if you need to. So all the things that are going here. Inbox 0. You cleared all your messages. I don't even think I had messages like that. What is in here? Okay. Here. What docs? This is good stuff here. You can favorite a doc. Oh, this is exciting. How can I favorite a doc? Let's explore. I love a good meeting management SOP. I'm gonna favorite it. Okay, so what happens now? I like a good docs. What's cool about the docs, you can do a couple things. So you can move some docs to, let's see, you can move it to a task. You can also move it within a list or space, or you can put it on a sidebar. Oh, I love it. You can also save as a template as well. And then you could do some sharing. I will say this. I'm just gonna be honest, because sometimes with the sharing, it's not as sweet. So I can mess some stuff up. Favorites is right here. Now, I wonder, what's this? Oh, the project management guide. I'm gonna put this to favorite too. Look at me, I'm like the favorite queen. Oh, this is really good. I feel like, what else can we, okay, so you can go with like shared, private, workspace, assigned, archived. You sure could do this. Now, what's going on May 10th? Okay, nothing really. Okay, I was getting a little scared. I was like, what done happened? You can also do tags. So I think that's really important as well. And what type of tag would I want this to be? Maybe it is like work management. Oh, can I search or add new work management? Oh, and then I'm going to put a color here. Okay, I'm gonna create a tag. And therefore, I am assuming that if you go, okay, and I'm gonna add one right here, project management. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go red. And I'm going to, okay, hold on, project management and then work management. And I'm also going to assume here, what is scope of work? Who has a scope of work? Okay, cool. Feel like, oh, okay. That's a good one. I like that, Doc. Well, lessons learned. Let's do this in project management. It's more of a project management vibe. So, could you filter by tag? Ooh, when your tag is project management. That's all you want to see. Boom. When it's work management, and that's all you want to see. This is like semi-brilliant. This kind of can keep a lot of stuff organized that way. Wouldn't it be great if you could save the searches? No? Maybe? I'm just thinking out loud. Something else I wanted to put in the canny. I can't remember what that was. Oh, you know what it was? I think it's the ability to create, when you can create a task within, when you can create a new task within something that you write. You can be able to add it to the subtask. I think that's what I'm trying to say or do. What else can you do here? Private workspace. Can you, okay. Filter sharing. What's the three dots in here? Copy, leak, rename. Oh, that's right. You can add to favorites if you wanted to. Workspace. Mm-hmm. You can add things to some workspaces. What's this? Business recipes. Team ops handbook. Let me put a tag in here. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm gonna put I guess work management would be it. Course creation. I'll put that in like a content creation maybe. So you don't have to merge it all together. That's exciting. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I did a ClickUp presentation. That was good. Oh, I love that. Maybe this one will be um, presentation doc. Presentation document. What's going on, Winifred? Good to see you. So presentation doc, I'm gonna put that as a blue, and I'm gonna create a tag for that, and that's what that is. Oh. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, I love a good issue log. What's in here? Come on. Issue log 101. Yeah, I'll put that as a PM one. That just gets me excited. I tell you what, I would not have known that putting tags in your docs is an exciting experience. I feel like I also need to clean this up and just delete stuff. This cannot be, people. What's this? Here I am. OKRing it up. What's going on, logo community? Okay. Give me y'all's impressions of this when y'all go back through the replay of this, because this little tagging your docs is great. I probably just need to go in and I need to go in and just clean up all the docs. I just need to, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Okay. But this was great. All the things in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna just delete our archive stuff. I mean, that's it. Yeah. Okay. This was like thrilling, to be quite honest. I who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? I think I'm going to, there's something else I was gonna do. Uh can I let me just go back here. Oh, oh, I love to see it. I love to see it. Woo. Yo, it's 9:03. What's this? Why is this here? Why does this look like that? It's like a weird type of thing. Okay. Uh this is like a ClickUp demo I did from a company. Why is it? This is like a weird little thing right here. I don't know what that means. Um, if you wanted to, oh, a book project. Oh, I'm going to hold on. Let me refresh this. I'm gonna, okay. This was like a demo thing I did. Shout out to Aaron, um, who is a great coach, a personal development coach, Aaron Thomason. He has a new like book club community as well. And so, yeah, he got some cool things going. He got some cool things going. Okay. Built for this. Good stuff. So I was doing like a demo for somebody where I thought like, if you wanted to like write a book, I believe that, you keep yourself super organized with like all the tasks that have to be in here. And so I wanted to click open. Yeah, it's my jam is I love me some task 3.0. I think task 3.0 is like exciting. You can like link a doc and everything. Link a Google Doc if you need to. But something I thought was good too was like proofread. It may be something like send to, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do this again. I want to do a task that says, yeah, send to 2 people for external opinions. You can highlight here. Look at it. Look at here. You can highlight this. This goes to task. Oh, see, so I didn't see this before. Task and or new subtask. Okay. I'm gonna put a due date to like this date right here. And I'm gonna create it. Let's see what it does. Does it put it here? Where does it put this? Okay, let's refresh. Because that's my thing is like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. See, it should pop up. Oh, no. I said subtasks. This is a checklist. That's probably the problem right here. But how come you can't put anything here though? Let me see something. Oh, wait a minute. You have to go. Ah, okay. So it will do it, but it's like a weird, they do it in a weird way. Ah, this is beautiful. This is cool. Let me see if I go back. What happens? Okay. Subtask assigned to me. What is that? I've never seen that before. Add or edit fields. Manage custom fields for book. Okay. So you can add a new custom field, which is game changer. Let's put do I want to put in progress track? Oh, you can add them. Okay, I see what's going on. You can add them from right here. Can you do something where this would be fantastic? Can you rename item? This would be interesting if you could turn these into subtasks. What if you're just like, I don't want these to be checklists? This will be interesting. That's something to consider. Okay. Uh, we've had a lot of fun today, guys. I'm gonna go back actually as we wrap up because it's 9:09. It is 9:09, and I want to make sure. There was a few points I wanted to make sure when we were talking about our wrap up, our action lab, which is where we start thinking through like what do we do with all of this information, right? Because I think it's important that you walk away with tangible next steps. Okay, so I think for me, what really makes sense, and I'm going back to my notes on this. You want to do a couple things when we talk about like what to do next. First and foremost, you probably have in some way, shape, or form external internal factors that you just need to keep your eye out on if it's not already impacted your project already. So if it hasn't, keep an eye out on stakeholders, your leaders. Someone identify those people that have the tendency to say, "Hey, you know, I think we should just go and do this." I mean, you want to make sure that funding doesn't become an issue. There's no pulling the plug on the funding. You want to pay attention to some of the cultural trends that are happening right now in society and things like that. How does that impact, right? And while you may not necessarily have like need to have a contingency plan or just like a plan right as of right now, you got to go back and you got to see and maybe bring a couple people together. I challenge you to do that to say, have we or are we going to run into either some internal or external factors that are going to derail this project? So that's all I have for you all today. Thank you so much. We're back with week 5. We're going to talk about risky business. It's going to be a good time, y'all. And we'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.